We always hear journalists say that the new model is sharper than ever, but in the case of the Xpeng P7, it actually is. Sharper body lines, sharper headlights, sharper cabin. But is it sharper on the road? Still got that turn-in that you could drive on a knife edge? And can it still make me smile while carving corners? No clue. This is a static video, but visually, cuts like a knife. This is the brand new, the next Xpeng P7. I'm Will, and this is China Driven. This thing looks like it was carved with a boxcar. Every panel is cleaner, flatter and tighter than before. Less liquid metal, more folded steel. Gone are the soft curves of the original. This new P7 is all tension and precision. It's wider, lower and longer. It wears that shape like a tailored suit made of hardened steel and bad intentions. The DRLs, the main beams, the full width rear bar, they're all buried deep inside thick black trenches that slice through the bodywork like some sort of Gundam robot. Up the front you can really see the striking design, these DRLs just here and this light bar that goes across, like I said earlier, recessed into those black lines, and just an absolute sliver of headlight here that you might not even be able to see. They also talk a lot about this new illuminated logo. The thing is, during the daytime, it doesn't look white. It kind of looks like a gray, and then at night it illuminates like this, and it's flush to the metal. That is kind of cool, although it is extremely hot. There is something I should talk about, what they call this front end design. They call it X-Mark face, as in X and smart, X-Mark face. Dumb name, looks cool though. Have you seen the lower black areas on this car, both at the front and at the rear? They look like they're sharp enough to cut tofu mid-lap. Functional? Debatable. Intimidating? Almost certainly. This whole car looks like it's been designed with a protractor and a grudge. Just look at these wheels, 21 inches across. That's not a rim, that's a statement made of corners. For those of you who are big Xpeng fans, you might be looking at this little badge and saying, what's that? Well, that is QX, Quantum X. Does that mean that Xpeng have finally cracked quantum computing, leaping it light years ahead of everybody in the world?
Absolutely not. It's just what they branded their new four-wheel drive system in this P7. While Xpeng might not be making breakthroughs in quantum computing, they're certainly making waves with this design.
And that roofline is pure sci-fi, chopped top. You got darkened glass from here all the way into the rear. And this thing is futuristic looking, but it's got a weirdly familiar retro vibe. It is wide, low and sleek, but pictures don't really do it justice. This is not a redesign, this is a goddamn rebirth. And it looks like it's willing to pick a fight. We haven't been told, but we can pretty much assume 99.9% that this will come with Xpeng's 5C fast charging, so you can expect quick recharge times. Now, there's a base all-wheel drive model with a smaller 74.4 kilowatt hour LFP pack, and that has a claimed 702 kilometers, whilst the rear-wheel drive long range and this all-wheel drive share the same 92.2 kilowatt hour battery. Obviously, the long range rear-wheel drive has a longer range of about 720 kilometers, and this all-wheel drive still has a respectable range of 750 kilometers. How does something this flush just pop up and say, I hear you like to go fast, like a Doberman? Not much of a tail, but it gets its point across. So this is a fastback with a lift tail, which is nice. I don't know how big it is actually before I open it. Hey, showpiece. Kai hou bei sha? It's pretty cool, but it's pretty loud. Anyway, it's fairly long. I can properly get inside here, but it's not very deep. Although you do have some storage under the boot floor, but really not a huge amount. You'll get a couple of large suitcases side by side and a bit of stuff on top, but this is not exactly going to be a storage monster, but then again, you wouldn't expect it to be. It does, however, have a frunk. 你好小皮，开前备箱. Apparently you can't do it from the outside, but anyway, there is a frunk. It's not very impressive. Come take a look at this. It's fairly small. Maybe you could squeeze in a charger there. They did say there's more space underneath. Okay, so it's good for maybe a charging cable, but you know, not much else. You could get a fish in there, but you're not exactly putting your shopping groceries in there. But at least it has something, I guess. Anyway, frunks are overrated. Now there's an upcoming version that supposedly has scissor doors. This one doesn't have it. Now, you don't need scissor doors on your sedan, but then again, you don't need whiskey in your coffee. It just makes it better. Now I'm just sat here imagining what it's like to drive, but unfortunately I have to wait until next month. Now the rear wheel drives apparently have 270 kilowatts of power on that rear axle, and the all-wheel drive, well, it adds another 167 kilowatt on the front axle for a total of 437. Expect this to absolute rocket off the line, especially assuming it has a boost mode. Inside, you might recognize its layout. Now the lines are meaner and the angles tighter, but it's still an Xpeng in here. It's just a bit sharper, it's more on point. And the interior feels properly sporty with luminous yellow seatbelts and a proper steering wheel, 3 spokes. It's nice and it feels like it's meant to steer something sporty, not just babysitter screen. Behind that chunky steering wheel, you get a small gauge cluster. It's not screaming for attention, it just handles the information that you need. And right in front of you anyway on the windscreen is a huge 87-inch AR heads-up display. It's the same unit in the G7 and it's pretty impressive. In here though, it kind of feels like a fighter jet display.
There's dual wireless phone chargers in here, one-piece sports seats with heat, ventilation and massage, and a customizable quick touch button here mapped to open the glove box.
And they've got a new feature, this screen here. 你好小皮. It actually moves towards the driver or the passenger when they talk to the AI, and also you can move it by yourself as well in the settings. But it's kind of cool. It's not something we've seen on Xpeng before. Let's quickly jump to the back and have a look at that. Okay, in the back here of the next P7, as they call it, it's actually pretty good. Leg room wise, knee room wise, got loads of room. Now I'm only 1.7 meters, sat by myself, more than enough room. Even if you were like 1.8, 1.85 with the same person behind you, I think you would get away with it. But you wouldn't get away with the headroom. But this is kind of a sports sedan, so what are you gonna do about that? In terms of features back here, well, these 2 outside seats do have heat, but no ventilation. Apart from that, there's not much else. You get 2 USB-Cs back here. You also do have an armrest with a couple of cup holders. And you can move that passenger seat. You can either collapse the backrest, or you can even move the whole seat backwards. And I can just crushing my cameraman. But apart from that, fairly good amount of space, legroom wise, not height room. So if you're like 7.5 meters tall with like 2 meter long legs, perfect.
The new Xpeng P7 is immensely cool, and if you don't agree, well, you're wrong, and I'll fight you on that. This thing looks like it's got beef with the air, and honestly, I respect that energy. It's clean, cold, and confident. Looks like it's designed in a wind tunnel and spec'd by Bob Dylan.